That will
So
be
we are studying the hormones, and which are secreted mainly by the endocrine gland. Uh, the secretion of these glands is called hormone. Now we have seen that in the nervous system, the neural coordination is very fast and short-lived. So as the nerves do not intervade all cells of the body, and the cellular functions so need to be continuously regulated. So the nerve cells do not innervate all cells of the body. So these cell functions have to be other cells which are not, where the nerve doesn't reach. They must be regulated or controlled, and this is done by a special type of system, and this system is the endocrine system, or the exocrine system, or the heterocrine system, and they are regulated by the hormones. The neural coordination is very short-lived. It is very short-lived, and it needs to be continuously regulated. And so let us see. Let us study about the difference between the nervous system and the endocrine system, which I am telling you. Just make a note. I am not writing here over here. So we know that nervous system receives and sends the informations in the form of electrical impulses. You just note it down. I'm not writing it over here. An endocrine system receives and sends the information in the form of chemicals called hormones. Now, point number 2 is that in nervous system, the system has direct connection with every part under its control. But in endocrine system, the system is not directly connected with parts under its control. Now, in nervous system, the transmission is very rapid, and in case of endocrine system, it is comparatively slow transmission. Again, in nervous system, the response is very quick. In endocrine system, the response is comparatively slow. So this response is limited. In case of nervous system, is limited only those cells which are innervated by neurons, and in endocrine system the response is produced by all cells of the target tissue. And in nervous system, we have already learned this response is very, and in this case of endocrine system, the response is for longer durations. Now the secretion of the glands, we know they are called the hormones. These are called hormones, the secretion of the gland. And this secretion takes place through glands. It may be exocrine, it may be endocrine, and it may be heterocrine. So in exocrine glands, the ducts are present, and in endocrine glands, there is no duct, and in heterocrine glands, they have the both characters of exocrine and endocrine, and hence these are called the composite glands. That means they are composed of tissues of both endocrine and exocrine glands. So example of exocrine glands are, now before that let me tell you that the secretion of these exocrine glands, let me tell you that it does not pour its secretion directly into blood, whereas in case of endocrine gland, it discharges or pours its secretion directly into the blood or the lymph. This blood or lymph. Okay. So examples of exocrine gland are sweat gland, sebaceous gland. There may be some other glands. There are other glands also. That is not within quotes. So endocrine glands are thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, pituitary, adrenal, pineal, body, pancreas, stomach, intestine, skin, kidney, and the gonadals. So these are the now examples of endocrine glands are the pancreas, the testes, and the ovary. Okay. Now when these hormones passes through these blood vessels, you can see the picture over here, this right, this is a picture. When these hormones passes through these blood vessels, they act only on the target organs, and these hormones carries with the, it mixes with the blood or the limb and it reaches its target organs. So fixed hormone, you can see the color, this blue hormone, blue colored hormone, it acts only with a specific receptor, and that's why it is called, this hormone acts on specific, hormone is called specific. This light blue hormone, it acts on the specific cell. It doesn't act on these blue color cells, or it doesn't act on the green color cells or red color cells. Particular hormones acts on particular cells, and the cells on which its act is called the targeted cells. And these targeted cells are spread throughout the body. Okay. Now let us study a table which shows the difference between exocrine gland and the endocrine glands. So exocrine glands does not pour its secretion into lymph or blood. An endocrine gland, it pours secretion into lymph or the venous blood, the veins. Now in exocrine gland a duct is present, whereas in endocrine gland a duct is absent, no duct. In exocrine gland, secretion is poured directly over the target tissue. Means that secretion is poured over it. But in case of endocrine gland, it is transported to target tissue, since there is no duct. And the secretion of the exocrine glands are enzymatic, lubricant, excretory, sweat gland, sebaceous gland, etc. And the secretion of the endocrine gland are adrenal, pituitary, pineal body, etc. All types of. Now let us see this picture. In short, I will tell you how our hormone acts on a cell. Now this is a cell. This is the cell. This full thing is the cell. I have already written here. And this is the cell membrane. So some hormones act on the target tissues over the cell membrane, some inside the cytoplasm and some inside the nucleus. So this is the nucleus of the cell. Now the steroid and the thyroid hormones, they bind with the new intercellular receptor protein. Receptor's protein is lying inside this purple color. The steroid hormones is binding with it. What does it do? Then it enters the nucleus. Later it enters the nucleus. Then it enters the nucleus and binds with specific regulatory sites in chromosomes. Now, what happens in the nuclear? The specific regulatory sites in the nucleus, specific regulatory sites, it binds with this one. I have shown in the picture over here, and binds with specific regulatory sites in the chromosomes. Thus, the pattern of gene expression is altered here in the nucleus, and it initiates transcription, formation of specific messenger RNA, or rather we call it RNA, and the protein enzyme. Okay,